1, 2, 3. Greetings, citizens of Earth. It is I, the artist formerly known as Tom.
I'm Galen.
That's Galen. Welcome back to 15 minutes of FUME. We have been on a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Have we not? We ran into a patch where for a moment there wasn't as much to review, and then we did a little bit of vacation. I went to New York. It was really fun. Galen stayed at home away from me.
It was fun.
That was fun. Someone yelled straight pride in my face in the East Village, and they got a lesson. We are just
That
kind
didn't
of...
happen to me.
What's that?
That didn't happen to me.
That did not... I thought you were just saying
No
that
one yelled
didn't
that at
happen,
me.
and I was like, bitch, I was there.
That didn't
I
happen.
lived. We are just easing our way back into the perfume sniffing business. We have a whole pile up of stuff to sniff, plus new things coming out all the time. So we just need to get a move in. Today we're going to be sniffing the Rabbit Moon, Brood X, and the Duets from this past recent Lunacy, which can you believe we have not sniffed yet?
I can't, actually.
Did anyone even buy them without hearing what we thought?
I think I even imagined that we had filmed a video, because as I was like organizing them while you were gone, I was like, oh, there are all these duets. We filmed these, right? And I was like, no.
No.
Oh.
I definitely feel entitled to credit for having filmed the video already, even if we didn't. There's this thing where it's like, oh, didn't we do that? No, you didn't. You have to do the work.
Oh.
We are here to do the work. And what better way to begin than with the standout of the collection, the reason for the season, the Rabbit Moon Lunacy blend with beautiful artwork by Drew Roush from the sick, twisted mind of Drew Roush. Will you hold this while I look up the notes?
Okay.
So, this is a perfume that says long green grasses, warm speckled fir, cardamom pod, sweet ambrette seed, caramelized bourbon vanilla, toasted clove, sweetened 3-year aged patchouli, gardenia petals, white sandalwood, nutmeg, and Cambodian oud.
Oh.
Those all sound like things that I am predisposed to enjoy.
I bottled this, and I enjoyed smelling it, but I didn't remember what was in it while I was doing that. So and I have not smelled it since. So
I've been very good and not opened a single one of these bottles, and Galen pretty much did all of the bottling because I was away.
Ooh, delightful.
So right on the nose out of the
Wow.
bottle, we got it's a bit sweet and spicy. I'm getting a bit of the clove and the cardamom and the grasses. I feel like the oud is just giving it a bit of a serrated edge.
This is really exciting.
It smells
I
so
like it.
springtimey. It's not just flowers and green stuff of spring, but there's just something that's this kind of that sparkly excitement related to spring.
The glimmer of life.
Like the first time you go out in a tank top.
Ooh. Yeah.
And you're just feeling it, and then a bird poops on you, and then you remember it's just not always going to work out.
Something bad happened to you when you were 5, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
What a day.
If you say things like that, I'm just going to end up doing a flashback video, and nobody wants to hear it.
You mean like a flashback episode?
Yeah.
Do you all remember the time when and then...
No, I would just start talking about the bad thing that happened when I was 5.
I feel like we're derailing. Anyway, so the perfume is...
So I already went ahead and put it on my skin.
Oh, I didn't do that. It's so nice.
Which is interesting because as soon as it's on the skin, some of those sweet sparkly notes just kind of evaporate, and it immediately becomes this heavier, muskier affair. You still get some of the warmth, which is reminds me, it's the furry smell. Not surprising that in the Rabbit Moon smell that there's a kind of a furry thing going on. But yeah, this is
I still really enjoy this, but it did change
markedly. Suddenly
very
we're inside the rabbit burrow, and that's where you get the woodier notes.
Yeah, I'm smelling the oud and the nutmeg.
Yeah.
And
still get that warm amber. But now you're nestled with a bunch of other baby rabbits against the side of like the great big mother rabbit, and all is well. And then you have like a prophecy of people coming to put poison gases into the burrows, and then you have to convince other rabbits to leave with you on an odyssey that results in an entire new rabbit nation being formed. Flashback episode. That's Watership Down.
I know.
Okay.
I figured.
So on the skin, it really has that nice, musky, fuzzy, brown, toasty, woody, like the rabbit when you're like snuggling your nose up against the rabbit forehead. If there's a rabbit that will let you do that, they're not super friendly, so don't
do that to like a rando
it
rabbit. It
needs to be like a dedicated face snuggling rabbit that has made that like part of its life's purpose.
Yeah.
I just love the transformation on this. It really it's quite elegant on the skin. It just takes it into kind of a bit more of a sophisticated place. Forehead snuggles notwithstanding.
Yeah, it's absolutely delightful, and I mean, it's like all notes I love, and I have not smelled anything like this yet. So yeah. It's always exciting when there's something where I'm like, oh, I like these notes, and I haven't smelled something with this configuration before. I love it.
I think it might be the same fur musk as the bear prints. That's my suspicion from smelling it, because I did smell that one relatively recently.
Sense.
It's my 2 cents. I as not are the perfumer. This segues so nicely into the other one that we're going to be smelling, which is Brood X, and I had hoped to smell this when the cicadas.
It's cicada.
Let's call the whole thing off. It depends. Where are you from? People say it differently, different places.
I have never heard anyone say cicada except you.
Well, if you look it up on the website, it has it like broken down by different places. Like people, like there's British pronunciation, there's non-English pronunciations. People just are saying, cicada, cicada, let's call the whole thing off.
British people would say cicaders.
Cicaders.
And you're like, where's that R coming from?
So anyway, I had hoped to review this when the bugs were still out a-flying and a-screaming and a-screwing. They're all dead, I think. There might be a few staggering around somewhere that, were off doing other things. But anyway,
they watched TV that night, They just didn't.
We were just celebrating this, special hatching of these special bugs. I just loved seeing the wave of love. Like, everyone thought it was so fun. It's rare that you see people on the internet almost universally celebrating something as, bizarre and kind of low-key frightening as, an insect swarm that recurs every so many years. So, and all of, the drawings and, the stuffed animals and, all the various things. So, of course, we had to get on the action with this Brood X perfume. And what a brood it is. It says, moist roots, sugarcane, hay absolute, a summer-scorched golden amber, upturned soil, dew-dappled leaves, Nootka. Hazelnut husk, moss-touched tree bark, and a dribble of 17-year-aged patchouli. So
Nootka?
Nootka. There is some interesting overlap with the Bunny Bones perfume.
Alternate name.
And I admittedly have been smelling this and wearing it quite a lot. So I'm not new to this, but I will... Well, it has a similar kind of there's a kind of a bright, juicy, springy note right out of the bottle. Mm-hmm. You get kind of less of the resins and stuff. I would be guessing, if I was smelling this, I would be guessing a fig or a date situation, because there is something kind of earthy, sweet, fruity, but just something really mellow.
Yeah.
It's not listed, but that's my guess off the nose. The first thing that it reminds me of is the Nasty Woman perfume, a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But then I tried that recently to see, a bit, and, that one it has much more of, I think, the vanilla and et cetera, et cetera. There is, almost a roasted chestnuts scent to this.
Yes.
That is all, but it's also kind of, earthy, and, it's got, these, lovely green notes kind of coming up. It's just kind of, warm and toasty, and, It really, and this sounds so weird, but it makes me think of the bugs like they might be good to eat. Like, is this the scent that they give off? I think Elizabeth had to have done some research about like what people describe as like, you know, bugs have a scent. They do.
Might be good to eat.
Well,
just try one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's human tradition. We eat everything.
Were you Renfield? The cicada.
Lives for the master. Do not drink the perfume. But it has like just like this really beautiful, warm, nutty, like
outdoor.
It's kind of like a toasty outdoor situation.
It's an experience, I would say.
It is rooty. The patchouli isn't particularly strong. Same with the other one, really. The rabbit one. Yeah. These are not. If I had smelled it randomly, I'm not sure I would have clocked the patchouli. It's just, I think, contributing to like the sort of, you know, earthiness.
Yeah.
Of the brew. Out of the two, I've been wearing I would wear Brood X. It reminds me of like my beloved Gamora, which is another one that is like, you know, kind of an herbal like fig situation. Or I don't know. Again, is it like dates? There's just something kind of like sticky and brown and slightly edible about this. Would you say?
I would.
Am I mad?
Yes.
Yes.
I would also say that.
Lives for the master. So yeah.
A kitten.
Oh my god. It's like Tom Waits was just right there next to me. I bet these two would just layer beautifully and then just create one big, crazy skeleton rabbit with insect wings that you would have to fight off in a Castlevania game. So.
Oh, wow.
Shall we smell some duets?
Yes, let's move on.
Oh my gosh, I don't even need the computer for these. The notes are written on the label. These are simple 2-note fragrances. We release a passel of them every month with the Lunacy collection. Oh, and the one that I picked up randomly is the one that I think I've been most curious to try, which is Wild Rose and Dandelion Sap. I'm always curious about this dandelion note that we've done a few times, you know, here and there over the years. I love a rose. This is a hillside rose. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I do.
This is not like a curated, shady garden rose with like ivy, trellis, etc.
It's wild rose.
This is a wild rose.
It's wild.
Caution, wild rose. Like they put a goat out tied to a stake, you know, so everyone can come watch the
wild rose.
The wild rose is just like
as she creeps out from the woods.
It's very interesting because obviously in the bottle, like the rose is like very present and accounted for and recognizable, and the dandelion sap is a less recognizable quantity, so it just contributes to the greenness, I think.
Right. I mean, obviously rose is rose. You know what that smells like, and so.
Yeah.
But then you have this other. It's a very green. Truly, you are twirling in the middle of the field on those Alps.
All right, Laura Ingalls.
Oh
yes, you said Alps. Okay, different twirling, different.
Oh, though I'm sure Laura Ingalls Wilder would twirl around in this too.
Yeah, I try not to talk about her too much because her books have, let's just say, problems. Fascinating. That on the skin though, it really the slider bars balance out because like the dandelion sap really imposes on the rose. I'm wrapping. There's like it really kind of crowds its way into the center, so it really does start to smell a little more like the meadow. And the rose is kind of just incidentally there. Really fascinating. I think it's like great if you, you know, if you want a rose floral but not overall like a floral dominated scent. I mean, this is just like really springy, and honestly in my brain I feel myself pulling back a little from it because I'm worried about allergies, but that's more of like a, you know, me covering my face when I go past the landscapers thing. The perfume is beautiful. It's just, it is like, it's really heady and green, and there's like a kind of like a fresh cut like stems quality.
Yes.
Gorgeous. I would definitely, I would use this, not only would I wear this, but I would use this as like an interior spray because it really just has like a fresh outdoors quality that I would love to bring into the living room instead of just smelling our old furniture. So,
Which, to be fair, has like soaked up lots of
dog urine,
perfume.
Oh yes.
And incense.
It's just funny because our sofa was
atmosphere spray.
I have the Burial's old couch. When I moved here, they were swapping in for a new couch, and I had no furniture, so I took their old one. And the couch we're on is actually Elizabeth's old couch, and I did a deep ass cleaning of that couch because they've got hounds. Anyway, BPAL lore. The next one I have is vetiver and black pepper.
Whoa!
Sounds really spiky on the nose. Are you prepared?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I know this one well.
Yeah, it might as well have a wand cap that was like the wand that's like sticking me right in the nose. A bit like the old COVID test. Whew. Now that is the vetiver that I remember from when I was first learning perfumes and trying perfumes, and I got something from the lab. I remember that was like really vetiver forward, and I was like, wow, I didn't know you could make a smell like that. And the pepper is really only kind of like even sprinkling a little more kind of stank on top of it to make it a little more bristly.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, it's just like sharp and a little bit, I was going to say astringent, or am I just thinking, I mean, it just smells so foreboding. It's just got like a really deep-throated belly laugh right in your face.
Yeah.
Every now and then, the vetiver, depending on what it's paired with, especially if it's something Swedish, can kind of give me like barbecue sauce vibes. I don't know why that is. In this case, I think the pepper just really keeps it almost like smoky without like the liquid smoke.
Yeah, yeah. It's
just dry, crackling dry.
Yeah.
It smells like a grass fire to me. Or, I don't know, like, just like if you're in a place where a lot of, like, you know, grasses and stuff are drying out. But, like, it's just like, it's just beautiful, nice and sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's funny because if you go back and smell the rose and the other one, the rose and dandelion sap smells almost bewilderingly wet and juicy. Yes, compared to it.
It does.
You know,
that's
like,
weird.
like almost comically, like operatically so. Fascinating. Next we have tea leaf and champaka petals. Petal plural or singular, I can't tell. I have granny eyes. Tea leaf, champaka petal.
Petals.
Petals? That's an S?
That's an S.
That's an S?
One petal.
Just one petal.
That's all you need.
One big one. Really big. Face-sized champaka petal.
The mother petal.
Woo! Wow. Now that is elegant. This smells like a fancy, like one of those homes that is also a museum. You know?
Yeah. Where
there's like rooms with like a rope, like a velvet rope across it.
Yeah.
There's something about it. It's like really inviting, and you know, there's like the incense is just like kind of setting the stage for something dramatic to happen. Like, it's comforting, but, like, you better be wearing the right clothes.
Yeah, I already have some.
You have some on?
And the tea leaf is, like, nice and dry.
Yeah.
So it adds this kind of, just like a dry air to it.
Yep. It's like...
Which really makes that atmospheric. It does kind of go along with museum house.
Yeah, because it's, like, clean and, like, polished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also, though, really dry. And it's just funny, because anything after the vetiver is going to smell sweeter, you know? So this does have, like... You know, there's like a little bit of that lovely, like, familiar, like, champa thing going on, but, like, not in a head shop kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is like if there was a head shop at, like, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, or maybe at, like, St. Patrick's Cathedral. Two places I did not go when I was in New York, and should have maybe because it was so hot outside. Just a really kind of like ethereal experience. Like, I just feel elevated just smelling it.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, it's like it reminds me of like a place where I used like a life drawing class. You know, like some like arts academy with nicer furniture than ours that no dogs have ever slept on. All right, Italian lemon peel and orange blossom. Now, at first, I'm like, when I'm just reading this, I'm like thinking this sounds like some kind of Italian ice situation, maybe just because of wishful thinking.
The word Italian.
It says there's like Italian and then lemon and then orange. In my brain, I'm like,
yum.
Give it to me. $2.75, please.
I'll have a snow cone.
Right. However, we're talking peel and blossom, so I'm expecting something a little less tutti fruity.
And blossom.
Ah, wow.
Yeah, it's not snow cone.
No. It's not even like an adult snow cone. Snoopy's adult snow cone machine.
Yeah.
What I love about this is if it was just lemon peel and orange, I feel like it would end up being sweet. Like, I don't know, I have sweet, juicy blends. I enjoy them fine. I'm always looking for something to balance out that orange peel. The driftwood last month, we did a driftwood and orange peel. Am I correct?
Orange blossom.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Orange blossom and driftwood. And that was really interesting, but they were two scents that I'm not used to thinking of together, whereas this really has like actual like wandering citrus grove.
Yeah.
All over it. It's really bright, it's really clean.
Playful, like kind of fun and shimmery in a way.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Yeah, it's...
The blossom keeps the peel, it keeps it from being, the whole thing from being too acidic, I think.
Yeah.
Because it could really go kind of savage on the nose, super lemony. And the orange blossom kind of like pulls it into like a springy, like breath of fresh air kind of place.
Yeah.
Very dry, very unsentimental. I think it must be so tempting with orange peel to throw in something like gardenia or something that takes it into kind of a perfumey place, and this is really just like very no nonsense. It reminds me a little bit of, I was gonna say embalming fluid, I guess, obviously, because that's another lemon peel scent. But that was like, that's a green tea, I think, isn't it?
It's way, yeah, that's
or white tea.
It's a way greener.
This is like,
I think that's like, it's either green tea and aloe or white tea and aloe.
Yeah,
something like that.
Some tea and aloe. This, like, because of the orange blossom is like, I think takes it into a very slightly perfumier place, but overall it's like a similar effect. And the very final one that we have to smell today for our return video is lavender and white oak moss. I feel like we are on very safe territory with this. How could it go wrong? Oak moss is something that I don't specifically seek out, but it tends to be in a lot of the perfumes that I favor. So many of the lavender scents that we smell here in the house and that we've been kept on hand are so comforting. And what's great about this is like it's one of these like dry, creamy lavenders that is a little less cozy times. It like for example, We Wear the Mask, one of the ones we did for the Triumph in My Song collection, benefiting Black Lives Matter, etc., is one of those perfumes. This is like actually kind of interestingly cologne-y.
Yeah, it's kind of glamorous.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this one. I have been wearing it. I wore it while you were gone. It did.
It really has like, it just doesn't say like Old Lady's Lavender Garden to me.
No.
Which is not a bad thing, by the way. Like, I aspire to Old Lady's Lavender Garden as both my lifestyle and final resting place. But
it smells like a classic fragrance kind of thing. Like there's just something very...
Like if this was like, you're at a funeral and you like, someone hugs you and it's like this is the scent of like burying your face in like the lapels of a fine gentleman's waistcoat while you sob uncontrollably, at your husband's gravesite even though you killed him.
Wow.
It's my fantasy.
That's specific.
Yeah. That oak moss just gives it this like kind of like freshness, and it dries out, the whole affair.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just feel like it's flying off the skin. The throw on this must be something because, I did put a fair amount of it on.
No, I noticed that it has a nice generous ampage to it.
Ampage. Ampage.
And it seems to like kind of last on me for a while because I like, I'd put it on and then 5-6 hours later I'm like, I would catch a whiff of it and I'd be like, that's that perfume I put on, and I'm like, that still smells so damn good.
I would say from a bit of distance, I'm smelling the oak moss more, and then when I get in closer is when I find the lavender.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. Just the magic of fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
So by now, there are people who have probably ordered these and have them and are like smelling along with us in the video. Welcome. Thank you. Are we getting it right? Please add your voices to the chorus. There are doubtless other people who might have waited or just haven't gotten around to buying these yet. The more feedback, the better.
Also, sometimes we like to talk about how you can layer the duets, and my layering contribution for this would be the lavender and white oak moss and vetiver and black pepper. It's an interesting combination.
Ooh.
And
I'm trying
also
to do
just
it
like does like again more of like a classic cologne smell where I'm just like, this smells super fancy.
Wow, that's gonna make, I can already tell from going back and forth that like the pepper just like brings this like spicy kick to it. Where
it's
you're just
really interesting.
Yeah. Well,
I think a lot of these would just really pair interestingly together, and like when I was bottling them, I was just like, oh my god, like I feel like these would be friends, and then oh maybe they would be friends. Like,
I mean, confirmed also that Rabbit Moon and Brood X are just like,
yeah,
they like best of friends. I'm just, it's like we're contorting ourselves trying to smell everything at the same time. It's like our own form of like scent reviewing yoga. What did you just do? Oh no! Wow.
She's fine.
What an attention grabbing move.
Please.
Well, that's where we end for today. We will be back later this week with some The Fool's Journey Hierophant scents. We will smell them. We will smell all of them. We are here to keep smelling perfumes and,
talk about them.
Guide, entertain, just help the time go by a little more painlessly. So, that will be all for now.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good one.